Forms is just what it sounds like. You can create a bunch of questions for people to fill in. However, with the digital version, you can force a certain type of response, such as numbers only in the social security number spot, or a date picker for figuring out the best time to get together. If you want it more open-ended, you can let them enter an entire line of text or a paragraph. So to get started, let's create a new form. It's going to start out a new one. Okay, so it's giving me an untitled form. There's an untitled question. And to get started, we can just do something like a party invite list. And we'll say last name. And we're going to create a new question and do first name. So multiple choice is not the right option. Let's take a look at our other options. We can do short answer. This is a single line. We can do a paragraph if you have an entire bunch of data you need to collect and you don't feel like differentiating it into individual boxes. Multiple choice will just let you choose one option and they'll all be bubble faced. Checkboxes are square and you can choose multiple options. And then there's drop down, which aesthetically looks a little different. So to jump down, there's also date and time. Those are pretty basic. The only unusual ones that you may not be used to are things like linear scale, which is like how would you rate your experience, good, very good, bad, poor, things like that, and it goes on a scale of good to bad. Multiple choice is like a series of related questions, like how important is this to you? And multiple choice grid is a little different. It's a series of questions that are all related, like how important is this to you? And it lists off a series of criteria and wants to know how important they all are. Over here is more like formatting, and you can add images, change the text, create a new question, and separate things into sections. You can also do go to section based on answer, so you can have basically optional sections that only matter if they answer in a certain way. I'm going to jump over to a form I've already created, the wedding invite form. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here and go through some of the questions. Right up here we have the short answer option. This is just one line of text. It's limited to 255 characters usually. Below here we have can you make it? This is just a drop down option. So when it actually shows up on the form, this is just going to be a single bar where I can click and expand the options. In this case there will simply be yes or no. Your favorite food choice, your address is a long answer. This is actually a paragraph, so I can have lots of text here, and we'll show that as we fill it out. How many people are going to be in our party, and this is the linear scale option. You can only choose one. Finally, we have the date, and this will have a date picker, and time, which is a separate category. And then this is our multiple choice grid. Now, just to get a quick preview of this, let's go ahead and select the eyeball at the top. Okay, it's all straight lined, that's fine. Some of the things that looked a little different are the linear scale and the drop down. It just says choose. You get a yes or no option. The multiple choice grid is nice and clean. It's a series of related questions. So how important are the following to you? People can select their options. And more importantly, you can get some nice functionality like the date picker. Yeah, right. And this was the paragraph question. And technically, because this is a paragraph, if we had to, we could enter a lot more information. So plainly, we don't need all that. Let's delete that. Okay, so this looks pretty good. It pretty much does what we want, but there's one thing. There's not really a condition that limits how much the person can answer. If I'm not going, then I don't need to answer all of this. And it's going to give you a lot of erroneous data and just excessive responses that waste everyone's time. So let's go back. We're going to close the preview here, which is in a separate tab, and do an alteration. Okay, so we want to limit this based on the sections that you need to enter. First, we need to create those sections. And that button is right here. Where the section breaks off, you're going to select that question. So can you make it's the pivotal question. Go ahead and select the section. Okay, now it's created one. Yes, I can make it is the title of that section. So then we're going to go down here and create one more section that's separated from the rest and say, sorry, I can't make it. Sorry, you couldn't make it. Let us know if anything changes. Okay, and that's it. That's the last section of the form. So now we're going to go back up here to our pivotal question and choose the vertical ellipsis here and choose go to section based on answer. So no, it's going to be sorry you couldn't make it, and this will be yes, I can make it. There we go. So now when I first look at the form, I'm going to be presented with two options. So my name is Lawson Derek, and I'm just hitting tab to jump to the next question. And if I choose yes, I'm presented with all of the rest of the questions. And if I want to change my question, my answer to no, and that's it. sorry, let us know if anything changes. There we go. Nice and simple. We don't waste anyone's time. And since they can't make it, I'm just going to add a funny little video here by choosing the add video function. And I just entered in the URL there. You can also do a search, so that's already in there. And we'll change this to the title of the video. Oh, whoops, that's not what we want. Okay, so there's no save button, it's just collected it all at once. One of the last things you may want to do is actually change the theme or color palette. I've got that up here, so this is a wedding invite, so maybe something more festive? I don't know, purple's probably actually the best option. Okay, so now the question is, how do we get people to fill this out? This is actually under the send option. It has a bunch of different options, but the simplest one I find is actually just to grab the URL. You can give this to anyone in any particular format, so if you want to give it to them in like a Facebook chat or something like that. You can also shorten it. It'll put it in a Google shortened URL. That just makes it a little easier to look at and not fill up whatever page you're copying it into. You can also limit the number of responses, but of course that does require a login, and in this case everyone may not have a Gmail account, so we'll just leave that off and just hope that people don't start responding too many times. Of course, if we don't want to deal with URLs, you can just enter in all the email addresses here, but unless you already know exactly who's going, then you're probably just going to want to grab this. We'll say copy, or we can just hit that. I guess that's a little easier. So, and we'll go to this and choose paste. Okay, and we'll just test this out and do Smith, John, and yes, I can make it, because otherwise this wouldn't be very fun. John wants fish. His address is 101 Happy Street, Happy Land, MD. He is the only one going. He is a sad, lonely man. We can enter the date manually or use the date picker. And I said this was going to be January of 2017. He's going to arrive the first day at 7 a.m. because John is annoying. And all of these are pretty important to him. And we're going to do next. So it looks like we made a mistake here. Let's go back to our form. We'll do cancel that. And we're going to change the yes answer. We want this to end submit form. There we go. So after section 2 is submit form. And I think that should be it. So let's try this out again. Actually we still have the URL, so we'll go there. We'll try this again. Smith, John, and yes, I can make it. And there we go, there's our submit button. Let's go back and make sure that the no still leaves us with a submit. It does. Okay, so we have submit on both options now. That's nice and fixed. Let's try this one more time. Fish. Okay, 7 a.m. And all pretty important. Submit. Alright, so now they don't need to see their own responses. You can have that as an option if you want under the settings right here, I believe, so they can edit their response and see a summary of it, but we don't want to give that to them. This is also the message you can change when they do submit. You can just say thanks for submitting or thanks for responding, something like that. If you're doing more of a test, you can tell it to shuffle, or a progress bar if you have a very lengthy form, just to give them encouragement like you're almost done. But for you, you're going to want to see the responses, and you can do that right under here. So this tab is only available to you because you actually edited and created the form. So you can see one person, they're coming at 7 a.m. Looks like I entered the time a little wrong. That's okay. And they let us know how important everything is. We get this nice graph. This is actually the prettiest way to view all the responses. However, there's an option up here to view it as a spreadsheet. And if we have hundreds of addresses, we can easily use that in a mail merge or create a CSV file to upload to FedEx or something like that. So it's a nice organized way to get lots and lots of data. I mean, this is literally unlimited. Anyway, I find this function pretty useful, and it's definitely free, so give it a shot. Let me know how you like it in the comments. Have a good day.